What's up, everybody? Welcome into this Flippin Bats Now pregame show. I'm Ben Verlander, joined as always by Alex Curry. Team USA, it's as simple as this. Win and you're in. That's all they have to do. We're going to go over starting lineups, pitchers, exactly what Team USA has to do. Even if they do lose, what could possibly happen? The Dominican and Puerto Rico are playing an incredible game right now. There's a lot going on. Team USA starts in just a few minutes. Let's get to it.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits on the 3-0 pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep center field. It is gone. Home run. And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
Continuing into the lead. That's always a fun baseball visual. So it's this. Mike Trout hammers this ball into left center field, and Team USA with more thunder this time from Trout. It is 9-0.
Team USA coming off a massive victory, Alex. We saw it right there. Captain America Mike Trout showed up. He's back in the lineup tonight. We're going to go over lineups. We're going to go over the other games and what's happened, the current game happening. But let's start with that game the other night. Team USA dominated, and they needed to.
Yeah, it's safe to say that Team USA finally woke up against Canada, and they did everything right that night. They had the energy that was lacking in that second game against Mexico. The Bats just came alive and exploded, and pitching. They needed the pitching. They needed strong innings, and they got it from Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn was incredible that night, and it needed to happen. And I said he was the perfect guy to take the mound because it didn't feel like USA had that FU attitude out there on the field. And I really feel like everything kind of changed after that game against Canada. Everything changed. They got the energy, they got the passion we were looking for. Everybody started hitting. Mike Trout with that homer, and he's admittedly said his timing isn't there yet. Yeah. It's not there. But he's finding it. He's hitting homers, and he said it himself. These games matter. Yeah. So it doesn't matter about my timing. I need to figure it out, and we need to win ball games. So I'm just excited to see Mike Trout out there doing Mike Trout things. He's so happy to be out there. He said this is the most fun he's had on a baseball field in a while. Said, I'm enjoying this being here in front of the crowd chanting USA. Some of the most fun I've ever had on a baseball field. But Alex, Team USA needed to figure it out. Yep. And many people are saying this. My pump-up pregame speech is the reason they scored so many runs.
Oh, I mean, it was pretty all-time. I'll give you that.
That's the part of the Mike Trout interview that they didn't air. They didn't talk about. But Trout said, we were listening as a team to Ben's pump-up speech pregame, and we were all like, you know what? He's right. Let's go. So I'm going to do it again tonight. Okay. Right before the game, going to pump the guys up, and we'll do it again. Yeah. So before we get into the lineup, let's talk about what's on the line. Pretty cut or dry, right? Win and you're in for these teams. Colombia wins, they're in. USA wins, they advance and will be the number 2 seed advancing out of Pool C. Now, also important, what happens if they do lose? Are they out? Are they done? No, not necessarily. As long as Team USA loses by 3 runs or less, they are also advancing no matter what. But I don't care. It's Team USA. This is arguably the greatest lineup of all time. I'm not going to sit here for long and talk about the tiebreaker possibilities. The possibility is lose by 3 runs or less, you're in. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk about it. Win and advance. That's what needs to happen.
That's the only thing they should be thinking about. They control their own destiny. And you mentioned the lineup. We just had it up here in the board a second ago. And when you look at the lineup and you look at the caliber of players that are out there on the field, Mike Trout back out in center field right now. He DH'd the last game. I'm guessing maybe just to focus on his timing, focus on his hitting. It worked. He had a huge home run. He's back in the swing of things, so they have him back in center field. But another big addition back in this lineup is Kyle Schwarber. He was a difference maker in game 1. He sat out the last 2 games. He's back in for USA tonight.
Yeah, so let's go over this whole USA lineup and kind of go top to bottom like we have been every single night. Leading off, Mookie Betts, and like you said, Mike Trout is now back in the outfield. Look, this is their spring training time.
Yeah.
And at this point in the year, if Mike Trout were at spring training, we never would have seen him every single night playing center field every day. So he obviously had to get a blow. He's hitting every single day. So he got the DH spot. Now he's back in center field. Paul Goldschmidt batting third, playing first base. Nolan Arenado, third base. Pete Alonso, the designated hitter. Kyle Schwarber back out in left field. Tim Anderson at second base. Will Smith at shortstop. Trey Turner at Will Smith catching and Trey Turner at shortstop. Merrill Kelly on the mound. So what I like, and I talked about this a good bit the other day, I love seeing Tim Anderson at second base. 1, Tim Anderson's hot and swinging the bat, great. But 2, that was the change that I felt like said we're transitioning from an extension of spring training to we got to win.
Yeah.
We got to figure this out. We have to do whatever it takes. And he had never played second base in his entire professional career until the other night. Now he's back. Mike Trout after the game talking about Tim Anderson. He's a star. There is no other way to put it. I put his swing the other way up there with anybody.
Wow.
Pretty high praise.
That's high praise coming from Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Merrill Kelly on the mound for Team USA tonight. Not a top tier name that a ton of people know.
Yeah.
A little bit about Merrill Kelly. He's nasty. Arizona Diamondbacks, 200 innings last year, a 3.37 ERA. Really good starter in the major leagues. He's the one tasked going out there tonight to get this done for Team USA. It all starts on the mound with this team because, admittedly, pitching isn't the strong suit for Team USA. So Merrill Kelly will start on the mound. And there's, like you said, Kyle Schwarber back in the lineup tonight. I'm excited to see that.
When you're looking at the lineup, who is kind of the standout guy in the lineup you're keeping your eye on tonight?
My player to watch is Tim Anderson for the reasons that I said. 1, if you're ever getting high praise like that from Mike Trout, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
He's not just going to go out there and say that about anyone. Tim Anderson's my player to watch. Shifting over to second base. Defensively, keep an eye on him there. Again, yes, these guys are the most talented players in the world, but it's not easy to just shift a position and be good. You're getting second base feeds from the other, or double play feeds from the other side of the bag. You're making weird throws. That throw from second base, though it's the shortest throw on the field, it can definitely be the weirdest because you're not really throwing it. It's kind of like it's like a little dart throw over there, and that is not an easy throw to make by any means. It's why we saw Alex Bregman throw a ball the other day in spring training straight into the ground to kind of avoid that weird throw. So I'm keeping an eye in the lineup on Tim Anderson and in the field as well.
All right, well, let's switch gears to the Colombia lineup because they're not out of it either. As you mentioned off the top of the show, there's still a chance if everything goes wrong for USA. So when you look at their lineup, who are the players that you're watching out for tonight?
Yeah, like you mentioned, slight chance, but a chance nonetheless. They have to win by 4 or more runs against Team USA. So in this lineup, Colombia is rolling out Oscar Mercado, Harold Ramirez, Gio Urshela, Jorge Alfaro, Reynaldo Rodriguez, Mabrice Viloria, Jesus Mariaga, Fabian Pertuz, and Diane Frias. So for me, and really anybody, the 2 names that jump out are Gio Urshela and Jorge Alfaro. Big leaguers, Gio Urshela, new angel.
Yeah.
Jorge Alfaro signed a minor league deal in the Red Sox organization, but those are their big bats, Gio Urshela and Jorge Alfaro. To avoid damage, if you're ever in a tricky spot, just don't let those guys be the one to beat you in this lineup. We know those guys are talented. They have a lot of pop. This lineup isn't super deep, but they can get you. Okay. Those guys have done a lot of damage in this tournament. Alfaro's been good. Don't let those guys beat you, but they're the ones to watch. That's in the lineup. On the pitching side of things, Alex, this is where I can't stress this enough. This is very important. There's a pitcher in the back end of this Colombia bullpen named Guillermo Zuniga. Okay? This guy is nasty. Throws 102 miles an hour, wipeout slider. That's the guy that they were able to beat Team Mexico with because they brought him in and they couldn't do anything with him. He's disgusting. So the important thing here is get a lead, as we saw in the last game. Get a lead early, put him in the distance, and don't let this guy come in and shut the door.
Okay, let's dive deeper into that, okay, because we can't stress it enough. Win and you're in for Team USA. So what are 3 ways that Team USA can win and advance to Miami? Starting with the first one, pitching. I
mentioned it all starts with pitching for this Team USA team. Merrill Kelly needs to go at least 4 strong innings. Look, this is, again, March. We're not going to expect 6 innings out of these guys. There's also, in the World Baseball Classic, a 65-pitch limit in the first round. This guy's also ramping up for his season. 4 strong innings, 5 would be perfect world scenario. But give me 4 innings, 1 run or less, and that's exactly what needs to happen, because you have to believe if he can get through 4 with 1 run or less, we will have put up more runs than that on the board by that point.
Okay, on to your next. Jump on Colombia's starting pitcher early.
Yeah, attack Luis de Avila in the first. We saw it against Canada, that 19-year-old left-handed pitcher. You can't let him settle in. Just do what you need to do against him. Yeah. Similar situation here. This guy's 21 years old. He's in single A. Last year was in single A for the Braves. In fact, he was with the Rome Braves last year and threw a no-hitter, 7-inning no-hitter against the it was for the Rome Braves. So this guy has the stuff to be really good, but I don't care. He's 21. He's a single-A pitcher, and we have one of the greatest lineups of all time that's about to be out there attacking him, having a game plan against him. Get it done. Get after him early.
And finally, build off last game's energy.
Yeah. Build off the energy. That's what needs to happen. It's the first game where I really felt like this team turned a corner and started playing for each other and for the United States of America. And I feel like that's what needs to happen again tonight. Don't worry about your timing. My spring training timing is off. Play for each other. Play for the brothers to the left of you and to the right, and they will be just fine.
All right. Well, as we mentioned, every game today was win and you're in scenario. Another Pool C game wrapped up earlier today, and it was Mexico defeating Canada. Mexico's in that number 1 seed spot for Pool C. What was your takeaway from that game?
Just that Mexico's good.
Yeah.
Mexico, their rotation is extremely solid. Their starter today was Jose Urquidy. He's been a very good starter for the Houston Astros for the last couple of years. Their rotation is the real deal. They'll probably have Julio Urias to go in their quarterfinal game. Mexico's the real deal. They take home the number 1 seed. What I will also add is, well, we don't know exactly yet who's going to be the number 2 seed out of Pool D. As we're speaking right now, it's 5-2 Puerto Rico, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, nobody on base. Ooh. So Puerto Rico is just a couple outs away from wrapping this up. But Venezuela will be the 1 seed out of that pool. There's really no way. Whether you're the 1 or the 2, you're facing one of the 3 juggernauts out of Pool D. It doesn't really matter. So Team USA, if they win, will be the 2 seed. Mexico, deservedly, might I add, is going to be the number 1 seed. They beat USA. They have Randy Arozarena, who's been incredible. Joey Meneses. They're both hitting 500 in the tournament over the course of 4 games. That is pretty good. Randy Arozarena, 500, 5 doubles, a homer, 9 RBIs. Really, he's been so good.
Lights out. Okay, well, let's move on to that Pool D game that you mentioned is going on right now. Puerto Rico against the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico came out on fire with a little league inside the park home run that really kind of set the tone for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
What was your takeaway?
Puerto Rico jumped out early and held it, and has held it ever since. The bottom of the 8th inning just wrapped up, so we're heading to the 9th inning there. Puerto Rico with a lead, 5-2. I need Edwin Diaz coming in with blaring trumpets out of the bullpen like I need air to breathe. That's what needs to happen. Puerto Rico has been really good. They're on their way to winning this game. They're 3 outs away, and that is, if it holds, that's who Team USA would play if they advance.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And I don't know if you saw or heard, but the broadcasters were saying fans were lined up since like 9 a.m. for this game. It has been absolutely insane with the Dominican and Puerto Rico fans out in Miami. They have been going crazy. There was a game that happened before them, and the fans were there waiting for this second game to happen.
This is what it's all. These 2 crowds have been phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Let's move on to there was a quarterfinal game today.
Yeah.
Really, really, really early today. Australia against Cuba. Cuba won and advanced to the semifinals. I know you woke up early and
I was up for it.
Take us through. Give everybody the lowdown of what happened in that morning game.
Well, I was up a little bit groggy, and then I came to and was able to appreciate the game that we saw. Look, Team Australia was not supposed to be here, right? And they were, and then everybody thought they were going to get their doors blown off by Cuba, and it just didn't happen. Cuba got out to a lead and then extended it 4-1. Australia hit a big homer, as they've done all tournament. Nobody has more homers in this tournament than Team Australia. They've been raking. They stayed in this game. Team Australia had quite the performance this entire WBC, but in the end, Team Cuba was the first team to punch their ticket to the final 4 teams in Miami.
Ooh, and we have that next game happening tonight.
Yes.
Late for us, or early, however you want to say it, with Japan against Italy. That'll be the next semifinal matchup game. Okay, but let's talk about the top 5 moments from today, because we've had action moment sunrise to sunset. We're still going here. What are your top 5 moments?
Number 5 is the one we just talked about. The first quarterfinal game of the tournament, Cuba taking down Team Australia. Really good game all around, and I needed it because it was in the middle of the night.
Okay, number 4, what you got?
Number 4, Randy Arozarena signing for fans in left field. It was so cool to see that happening out of nowhere. Pitching change. Randy Arozarena comes in, goes out to the wall, starts signing for fans.
Just leaning back, signing gloves, handing them up, signing gloves.
Yeah.
Looking, he's like, is the game starting yet? Nope. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to keep signing until they tell me I can't anymore.
That was really cool. So that's
great.
number 4. Number 3 for me, the atmosphere at the Puerto Rico Dominican Republic game. Like you mentioned, I don't even know where to begin. This has been an absolute party. They announced a sellout crowd at the Marlins Stadium down there at Lone Depot. It has legitimately been a party back and forth the whole game, and the 2 teams have shown out for sure.
It's incredible. Okay, number 2, what you got?
Number 2 is Tim Kennelly's daughter starting the Let's Go Daddy chant in the stands. Now, Tim Kennelly's a leadoff batter for Team Australia. His daughter was in the stands, just starting with the entire section, screaming, "Let's go, Daddy," and the entire crowd was doing it with her. Really, really special. Like, just a very, very heartwarming moment.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like for Tim to, like, hear "Let's go, Daddy," and seeing your daughter up in the stands starting that chant. Incredible. Okay, number 1.
Number 1 is the Francisco Lindor Little League homer. Little League inside the park home run. We mentioned the crowd here. The place was going nuts. It was shaking. Lindor, hard line drive to center field, misplayed by Julio Rodriguez, so it does go down as an error, but it gets to the wall. Lindor scores. The place is shaking. That was by far, the players went nuts. By far the best moment of the day for me.
That was absolutely incredible. I think we were here by the time that happened, and we were just screaming downstairs in the makeup room. Like, is this happening? It's happening. It's happening. And it was incredible. All right. We're inching closer to first pitch for USA against Colombia. And Ben, you mentioned it off the top of the show. Team USA must have been listening to our pregame show last game. You gave an incredible pump-up speech. I want to hear it again. You're walking into that clubhouse. What are you telling Team USA right now? Because it is win and you're in. Go. I'm
walking in saying, fellas, we felt it the other night. The feeling we have needed, we finally felt the other night. This feeling of we're playing for the United States of America. Do we have more talent than any other team in this tournament? I would say yes. I would put you guys up against anybody. But this tournament, it's proven to not be about talent. It's about the heart that you put into it. It's about the energy that you play with, having to top the energy that these other teams are playing with. And that's what you did the other night. Tonight is win in advance, and we need that energy again. Put on Team USA jersey, play for the red, white, and blue, and go kick their ass and advance to the quarterfinals. Let's go.
Woo!
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I want to talk about.
Team USA wins 9-1. That's my prediction. That's what I'm leaving you with.
Woo!
Alex, give me your score.
Okay, I have 8-2 Team USA winning and heading to Miami.
Win and advance, and so are Alex and I. We're heading to Miami as well right after this game. Thank you all for listening. This has been the Flippin Bats Now pregame show. We will be back post-game as well, immediately following the game to record our new episode of Flippin Bats Now. Thank you all for listening. Team USA is about to get underway. It is simple, my friends. Win, and you're in. Thank you all for listening. We will see you post-game for a new episode of Flippin Bats Now. Enjoy the game. Peace.